Hey brother, how's it going? So this video is about what to do if you think you have feminine genetics. Now, I know that's the title and that's what this video is about, but in terms of actually having feminine genetics, this is actually a very rare situation, but it does exist. And the name is actually called Klinefelter syndrome. Hope I said that right, Klinefelter syndrome. And basically that's when guys are born with an extra X chromosome. So instead of being XY for males or XX for females, it's actually XXY. And basically this is a genetic defect that affects everyone in basically 1,000 males, and it causes men to have more feminine genetics. So certain symptoms are actually not so bad. So, one of the symptoms is you might be taller than average height. But other than that, the rest is not so positive. So you might have smaller testicles, reduced ability to create sperm. So you might be infertile, higher chance of gynecomastia, so extra breast tissue, and a few other issues like autoimmune diseases and things like that. So if you're watching this, chances this isn't you, but this could be the case. And if you are worried about something like this, then you should definitely go and see the doctor and get something like that checked, because it is a serious condition. So that's one. But other than that, chances are that this is not you, and this is something that you should be able to deal with yourself, which is what I'm going to go through in this video. Even if you don't have this genetic mutation, you may be experiencing high estrogen. And that is something that people with this syndrome have, but this is something that you might have with normal chromosomes and a normal genetic makeup. And this can easily be solved, but this can also be triggered through certain lifestyle habits. So for example, you can actually increase your estrogen production through being obese. Also, if you're drinking a lot of alcohol, if you're under stress, these are also things that can increase the amount of estrogen in your body. So estrogen is a female hormone. Females will have more estrogen than males. Males have more testosterone than females. These are like the sex hormones that make men men and make females females. So if you're a man and you want to transition to a woman, you're going to start taking way more estrogen. And vice versa, if you're a woman that you want to transition to a man, you're going to take more testosterone, and that's going to give you a beard, lower your voice. It's going to increase muscle production as well. And the opposite, if you take lots of estrogen, you're more likely to start developing chest tissue. You might start losing bodily hair, facial hair. You might change your voice. Your testicles will shrink as well. So this is all something to be aware of. And obesity is definitely a main cause to that. So you want to do whatever you can to battle that obesity. So on this channel, I talk a lot about a condition called steatopedia, which causes you to store excess fat in your buttocks area. Now, this isn't necessarily linked to having high estrogen or anything genetic. It's just how your body does store fat. So I guess it is a genetic thing, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily a feminine thing, although you may feel that way. And that can be linked to obesity, because if you have a certain body fat percentage, then you are likely to store that extra fat in that area. So targeting obesity, even if you aren't that obese, if you aren't too fat, is something that you still want to do as well. And just to be on the safe side, because something like gynecomastia, where you have excess breast tissue, that is definitely due to high estrogen. So it's a common thing where people, for example, mess with steroids, and that messes up their hormones, and they end up getting something like gynecomastia, which is that breast tissue where you may actually need to have surgery to get that removed. Or you can be prescribed hormones to affect that, regulate that change that's going on in your body. Also, you want to be aware of something called Xenoestrogens. Now, these are basically things that causes your estrogen to increase, but it's not produced from your body, it's from your food. So a big cause of this is through things like pesticides and chemicals, which are sprayed onto things like fruit and vegetables. So that's why it's very important that you eat organic to avoid this, because the last thing you want is to be consuming foods that are causing you to increase your estrogen. And if you're already concerned that you have a feminine physique or feminine genetics, this is going to make it worse. So when you can, always go organic. I know it's a bit more expensive, but it could be way worth it in the long term. So there was a study about 10, 20 years ago, which done a trial on a couple of men who had a very high soy-based diet. I think it was 9 times the average Japanese person. And because Japanese, they eat a lot of, soy-based foods like tofu and things like that. But they done a study on these guys, and it found that their diet was causing them to have a high level of estrogen in their bodies. And this is where the term soy boy came from, and where the whole kind of criticism of people eating soy and tofu and tempeh came about. But lots of studies have come afterwards which have disproven this initial study as more of an abnormality. It's not the norm. So you can eat soy, but it's just something to be aware of on this topic, because it's something that you see a lot on YouTube, on the internet, about, soy boys and people having too much soy. I wouldn't be too concerned. I don't really have too much soy personally, but I wouldn't worry too much about it. But definitely don't overeat it, don't overconsume it, just to be on the safe side. So if you are worried about having feminine genetics, if you have a feminine physique and you are overweight, the number one thing you want to do is drop that weight as soon as possible. So if you're obese, number one, you want to sort out your nutrition. So you want to clean up your diet, cut out the processed foods, the fast foods, the junk foods, get rid of the ASAP. Reduce your sugar intake as well. And I want you to start weighing yourself regularly. Ideally, first thing in the morning when you wake up, jump on the weighing scale, see how you're getting on. And ideally, you want to be losing half a kilo to a kilo a week, or a pound to 2 pounds a week, making sure that weight is dropping on a consistent basis. Also, with exercise, you want to start training. So get in the gym, start doing resistance training. If I was you, I would get on a full body workout plan. So that's not doing full body every session. That's splitting your body parts, different body parts each week. So it could be one day you're doing chest, one day you're doing legs, one day you're doing shoulders, one day you're doing back. And you complete the whole body for that week, and then the next week you do it again. So depending on how many days you're training, you split up your body into that order, if that makes sense. So even if you only can train 2 days a week, you do 1 day upper body, 1 day lower body. For example, I would say do at least a minimum of 3 sessions a week, at least 30 minutes in the gym, and that will make a huge difference. If you want to do cardio, you can, of course, as well. Cardio is a great way to be healthy and can help you also to lose that weight and lose that body fat. Just make sure you don't make yourself too hungry and want to eat more foods, because this will cause your weight to not go down as fast as if you just did resistance training and watched your diet as well. So I hope you found this helpful. If you need help implementing some of these changes, download my free book, The Alpha Male Body Blueprint. If you're having trouble with steatopedia and you've got a fat butt and it's making you feel insecure, download my free book, How to Lose Butt Fat Fast. Links to both books are in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, let me know in the comments if you're experiencing this and how you're dealing with it. Share this video as well, and I'll catch you on the next one.